Welcome to Stockholm, Sweden. I am back in the game after being sick for 10 days. To any of you shitheads that are sick and don't wear a mask on the plane, put a fucking mask on. Because I lost my voice. I went to Gothenburg, couldn't film because I couldn't talk. You know, the only thing I could do was whisper, and I'm not gonna whisper through a whole video in a city. So put a mask on, preferably stay home. Anyhow, Stockholm, Sweden is the biggest city in Scandinavia with a metro population of just under 2.5 million people. This is the 7th most expensive country in Europe, but compared to Norway, where I was spending like 15 bucks to get a meal in the grocery store, I'm spending about 8 to 9 in the grocery store in Sweden. So it's a weight off my back. I'm not spending as much money. There's a lot of museums here. They have like this really famous like Viking ship museum, which I'm not going to. I'm really bored of museums. You know, I've been in Europe. This is my 3rd week, 21 days, and I'm done with the museums, bro. They're expensive. Once you've been to a couple art museums, you've been to all of them. You know, it gets boring after a while, but I do like walking around the city and just taking a look at the buildings, because the buildings are pretty solid. You know, I like architecture. If I haven't mentioned this, I'm in real estate, you know, selling houses, finding new properties for my mom to buy, fix up, and sell. So I really like seeing the process of buildings get renovated, and I can appreciate nice architecture like this. And I think it's like Pride Month or Pride Week or some shit here, because there's just so many pride flags out. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. I don't really know about that in Europe. I think Pride Month is in June in the US. I don't really know. But yeah, there's hella tourists here. It's 75 and sunny today. My voice still isn't really back to what it was. I still have phlegm and stuff going on. When I'd gotten sick in Japan, it was for about 4 days. But man, here in Europe, it began with a sore throat for a couple days. And then that went away, and I thought I'm getting better. Then a bunch of phlegm came in my mouth, and then that went away. And then just this massive cough came for like 4 days. I mean, 3 of those days, I got like 2 hours of sleep a night, because when I would lay down and I would breathe in, I would just be coughing every time I would breathe in. And it was just absolutely miserable. But hey man, that's what comes with travel. Don't let people bullshit you and be like, oh, travel's so amazing. Yeah, travel is amazing, but there's definitely a lot of shit that sucks about traveling, you know? Like getting sick. You know, I've been sick 3 times in 3 months of traveling in 2025. You know, it's no fun. Beforehand, when I'm at home, I get sick maybe once a year. But here's like the little water splash thing going on. Stockholm is like a city of islands. You know, there's all these bridges connecting one island to another. I met this guy from California on my Airbnb last night, and I never go out to bars and clubs, never ever. But you know, I've been sick 10 days, I haven't really been doing shit. So he's like, yeah, let's go out to the bar and club. You know, last night was crazy. It was a Monday night, a lot of beautiful women. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I am in Sweden. There are beautiful women here. The first day I got here, I was heading to my hostel, and there's this beautiful woman jogging, bro, like big boobs, you know, nice tan, very attractive face. And I'm like, all right, maybe I can see some more of that. But we went out on a Tuesday night, and it was just dead. We probably went to like 5 bars, 1 club. And the club we went to, there was like 25 guys just sitting down on the steps of the entrance, just looking pathetic, you know, hoping and praying to God that some baddies would come, but they never came. So we dipped out, bro. We had an early night, probably left at about 12:30, and that was that. But hey, you got the alleyway going on. Pretty dang cool. I would say Stockholm's definitely a step up from Oslo, man. Oslo was boring, pretty dull overall, but it was clean, you know, it was safe, it was quiet, and that's always a plus. You know, Oslo wasn't a complete waste, but Stockholm's definitely a bit better in my opinion. More character in the buildings, more charm. Like you got the stuff on the mountain all the way up there, all these little coffee shops, the alleyways, pretty cool. Yeah, the boats, the sun, the blue sky. We had a lot of that in Norway too. It was very hot in Norway. But I gotta take a piss. I gotta find a way to pee. That's the thing with Europe. It's like, where do you use the bathroom, bro? There's like no place to go to the bathroom in Europe. I can't stand it. Here's a lovely view of the water side. the buildings in the distance. And a tip I would give you is go to hostels. I'm not a big fan of like the inconvenience of it, having to lock my stuff up and use the same bathroom as other people and get woke up if you have loud people that aren't considerate. But you definitely do meet cool people, and having a connection with somebody when you're on a trip can make the difference between having fun and just being bored or lonely and wanting to go home. If you meet somebody cool, it can just amplify the experience by so much. And then you're like, wow, I actually had a good time in a place that was like pretty average or not the best, you know? And it does make you be more confident to talk to people and to approach people and to just get out your comfort zone, opposed to if like you're not really, you know, if you're with a friend or if you're in an Airbnb. So stay in hostels or mix it up, you know, do like 50% Airbnb, 50% hostel. I would say if you travel internationally, the first few days that you get to that country, stay in Airbnb just so you can get a sleep pattern down and you don't get interrupted, and you can just rest, you know, and adjust and acclimate to the new climate and the time difference and the jet lag, which would like lessen your odds of getting sick because your body is going to heal itself. I didn't mention this, but when I was in Tromsø, Norway, when I just come down with my sickness, there was this guy that had checked out at 11 o'clock at the Airbnb because it was a shared house. And it was probably 5 o'clock at this point, and he's knocking on the window, and I didn't know who he was, and I'm like, are you staying here? He's like, yeah, I am. So I let him in, and instantly, bro, I can just smell alcohol on his breath, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy's drunk. Like, he could be violent, you know, so let me be chill, let me try and be his friend. And he was like, oh, my phone's dead, do you have a charger? Well, I have an iPhone, you don't. And then he kept looking around for a charger. He's like, my flight's in 35 minutes, maybe I can still make it. And I'm like, maybe, you know? And I said, did you check your belongings to see if you know, put your charger in your belongings? No, I didn't, I lost it. Like 10 minutes later, he looks in his bag and he's like, oh, I found it. Today's getting better, maybe I can still make my flight. It's in 25 minutes. And then he gets on his phone and he's like contacting the airline company, oh shit. Oh, I missed my flight, what am I gonna do? And the Airbnb host is like, you were supposed to leave 7 hours ago. But the Airbnb, for me, communicating with the Airbnb host and telling the host that like, hey, this guy is still here when he should have checked out a long time ago, they gave me one of my nights free. So I saved half of the cost because I dealt with a drunk guy, which is pretty good, you know, because when I dealt with a guy that shit on the floor, in my first hostel in Copenhagen, they gave me 2 free meals and I got to wash my clothes for free. So I've saved about 75 bucks so far being in Europe. This is the Kungsträdgården Park with 28,000 reviews on Google. Let's see what's so special about this place. Okay, you have some outdoor dining, whoop-de-doo, a lot of tourists, a lot of families, some plants. A copper statue that's like green because it's old. Here's a little cafe, la-di-da. 28,000 reviews for what? I don't get what's so special about this park. It's definitely not the best park I've ever been in, you know. I say every park in Japan is better than this, and a lot of them in Korea are as well. But this is it. Let's keep on going. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised because the park goes down a little ways this way. I don't think this is garnering 28,000 Google reviews. I don't know. Maybe I'm spoiled having gone to Japan. I think it's a steamboat in the distance. But I will say, I do like the buildings. To me though, after a while, all of the cities kind of begin to blend together, you know. Being here 3 weeks, you kind of get dull to it. I think for me, Europe will be good for about 2 weeks and then go home. But Asia on the other, another statue with some water floating down. I don't know though, 28,000 reviews just doesn't make much sense to me, man. It's a very small park. There's really just not much going on. I mean, is the statue like blowing people's socks off, like knocking people's socks off? You know, like, Yeah. You tell me, is that interesting? Oh, another statue. Let's go check it out. It's also copper and oxidized. Well, all right. We are in a concert stage. Check this out, hold on. Here we go. The concert stage, wow, amazing. And then the statue, pavement, dogs, sweaty back on that guy. Yeah, that's about all to this park. Some turf, that's fake grass. Some dining to this side. Yeah, that's about it. Welcome to Kungsträdgården. You know, I give it a 3 stars. It's lacking, it's not that big. There's not much wow to it, you know. Any city with water to me is superior to any city without water, excuse me. And that's the Royal Palace right there. More water and stuff going on. Royal Palace, very cool, very nice building. Very similar to the one in Copenhagen and Oslo. But Stockholm Royal Palace. Actually, this is the Royal Palace. To the right of me is the Parliament building. And there's all the tourists just enjoying the view and taking photos that they'll probably never look at again. Right on that balcony. My mom does that. She's got like 13,000 photos. Takes photos of the sunset, photos of the clouds. And I'm just like, Mom, are you really gonna look back at 13,000 photos? How do you still have space on your phone? Oh, here's the tours. Got some tours going on too. Very interesting. Couldn't be me, man. I like going at my own pace, but you know, I respect it. I respect that everybody's different. You know, you have to be accepting nowadays, and I accept and respect the differences of people. But yeah, very touristy part. A lot of construction going on, man, here in Stockholm. It's kind of like uninviting, just 'cause it's so loud. You know, I don't like loud. I like peace, tranquil, quietness. That's why I miss Japan so much, because it's everything I like. Safe, clean, affordable, all of the above. A little quiet, but like social-wise, you know, sometimes I like to get out and socialize. But here's another beautiful view. Let me let these people pass. I want to be respectful. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Woo. Lots of walking in Europe. Get used to it. The tour buses. Interestingly enough, if you bike around Stockholm, you will get places faster than if you drive. I would hate driving in a city like this because you have to stop at all the crosswalks when people walk by, and it's just like stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Be on guard so you don't fucking hit somebody. You know, I'm not a city driver, you know, I'm a suburbs driver. That's what I've been conditioned to do. But here's all the tourists, man, like me. I think I'm going to a church, actually. I don't really know where the hell I'm going. I'm just kind of wandering aimlessly. I think I'm on the right path. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Dude, this place is packed. Like, look at this shit coming up. Look at this. Oh my gosh. There's like a long line way above here. And it's always annoying when you have people walking slow as, I don't know, a snail. And you just have to fucking maneuver around them. And then some people will be like just walking, and then suddenly they stop and look behind them, and you like run into them. It's pretty obnoxious, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Check out all these like orange juice. That's orange peels, used up orange peels. There's Swedish flags hanging out because we're in Sweden, obviously. Lots of souvenirs and gift shops, some art, some jewelry, crystals. And the last thing I want to do when I'm abroad is buy a bunch of shit to lug home with me or lug to my next destination. But hey, some people enjoy shopping and buying knickknacks. I like saving my money and not buying useless stuff, but to each his own. I think Let's see where we're at. All right, back this way. Here's another church that's overpriced. $12 to get into a church. Wow. Expect to pay for any attraction in Scandinavia. Absolutely any. Churches, museums, you name it. You know, a museum like $25 to get into. A small church, $12. You know, it's kind of ridiculous, but you can buy the Stockholm pass, all inclusive, transportation. You can see a lot of the museums for like, I don't know, 60 or 70 a day, something like that. I don't know, but I like wandering, seeing the cool buildings and cafes and stuff like that. Not paying $12 to go in a church, bro. I've been in enough churches throughout my days, but I like them, man. That's why I go to them, because if they're free, it's for me and I'm going in. I will tell you guys, I'm pretty bored doing this like European travel shit. So from now on, I'm probably just gonna go to adventurous places like the Middle East, South America, Southeast Asia, East Asia. Just more like interesting places, man, because like it's just boring here, bro. Like seeing building after building, museum after museum. Like I wanna go places where like I can interact with locals more and just have like a very in-depth cultural experience, because here you just don't get it, man. There's just so many damn tourists, and it's just like, I don't know, it's cool, you know, it's cool. Like I said, it's cool for a few weeks, but after that, it's just like, I want more, you know? I want more than just walking around the city and seeing some cool buildings and being around a bunch of tourists. Like I want to immerse myself in a culture and like really get to know the locals and stuff like that. Like here, it's just like, this is not me, man. Like I know a lot of you guys might like Europe and might get a lot of backlash. I don't care, it's my opinion. But yeah, like I want more, man. To me, this isn't really filling my cup, to say the least. This is really, yeah, just not filling my cup up at all. But here's another beautiful church right there in the distance. Some cool buildings going on. You know, it's cool for a little while, but I always want more. Like I'm always just not satisfied, and just need like a bigger high, a bigger dopamine hit, more experience, more adventure. You know, as a young man, like you got the testosterone going through you, and you want the excitement, you want the risk. The traffic of Stockholm, right there, and then the beautiful church right there. So I do appreciate how old these churches are and how beautiful they are as well. And then right on this side, you got some interesting buildings on the hill. So like Stockholm, man, definitely has its charm. It's probably an amazing place to live. But as a tourist, it's like, you know, if you've been to a lot of countries in Europe, it's probably gonna feel the same after a while. You might get dull to it. But if you like museums, if you like art museums, if you like history and all that, and you're a big history buff, like for me, I like a balance, you know? I like a little history, a little walk in the city, interacting with locals. I like a well-balanced, you know, pizza. I don't just like one big aspect of something. So I like to diversify, and yeah, I mean, Stockholm, I guess, doesn't have too much of that.